Adam loves being surrounded by people, but even at the moment, he feels lonely. Why is this happening? To figure this out, he decided to turn to Onlix. Loneliness. This is a feeling that every person has encountered. Someone chooses it voluntarily and feels happy, but for others, loneliness becomes torture. Character traits, toxic surroundings, or quarrels, all of this can lead a person into a state of deep sadness, make him move away from people. Such periods are accompanied by heavy emotional experiences that make life unbearable. Most people prefer to search for the cause of loneliness in themselves. They attribute it to character, difficult relationships with parents and peers in childhood, lack of communication skills, or not attractive external data. Internal experiences and the search for our own shortcomings give rise to deep complexes, because of which a person voluntarily refuses to interact with other people. But as soon as he remains alone with himself, the internal conflict grows. At the same time, self-criticism, aggression, feelings of worthlessness, and uselessness are intensified. Even if you want to communicate with people, a person with low self-esteem can no longer interact normally with them. He sharply reacts to refusals, insulting jokes, criticism, believing that such an attitude only confirms his worthlessness. Then, he withdraws from society, fearing to again face the terrible consequences of communication. But a friendly attitude does not find a positive reaction, but only causes even greater distrust. Loneliness also arises in an inferior relationship. Even communicating with other people, a person can feel lonely. He says he shares his experiences, but they don't hear him. The reaction of the environment to a person greatly affects his internal state. Betrayal, falsehood, indifference. All this causes distrust and unwillingness to communicate. Do not forget about bullying, which is especially common among adolescents. And such an attitude leaves a deep imprint on the character, forcing for a long time to abandon any relationship. An equally common reason is the mismatch of expectations and reality. Everyone presents himself as someone else, attributing qualities that in reality does not possess. But other people see this person differently, and, accordingly, treat him differently from what he wants. All of the above reasons apply to person-specific situations. Loneliness also arises under social circumstances, a breakdown, divorce of one's or one's parents, or the death of a loved one. In such situations, internal experiences isolate the person from the closest circle of communication. He occasionally contacts with relatives or even completely abandons society, remaining face-to-face with grief. The fight against loneliness is such a moment when you need to stop feeling sorry for yourself and leave the comfort zone. You need to understand yourself, to understand what causes a feeling of alienation. An isolated lifestyle or lack of understanding with people. An isolated lifestyle or lack of understanding with people. Solving this issue, it is necessary to single out only those reasons that can be corrected independently. By setting difficult tasks, a person falls into a state of helplessness and futility even more. The first steps are hard. At first, they can reinforce negative emotions. It must be admitted that alone, if it is not voluntary, there is nothing good. Recognizing the problem will make it easier to endure a period of getting out of a state of loneliness. And to make it easier, it is worth asking for the support of a loved one or chatting with those who once faced a similar situation. Remaining alone with the problem, a person does not come a step closer to restoring internal harmony. It is important to understand that loneliness is a serious problem that adversely affects the human psyche. What at first seems like an innocuous desire to be alone turns into a long isolation, leading to the loss of social skills. Do not turn loneliness into a lifestyle. Man is a biosocial creature, and only in society can he be happy. And what helps you fight loneliness? Write your opinion, share videos, and subscribe to our groups and social networks, and learn a lot of new and interesting things with us.